Todd Blanche spent years as Donald Trump's personal defense attorney, representing the former president through multiple federal criminal indictments. Trump has now nominated that same lawyer to run the Department of Justice. The nomination has alarmed legal professionals at an unusual scale. More than 1,200 current and former Department of Justice officials signed a public statement opposing Blanche's confirmation, arguing that a lawyer who owes his career to the president cannot fairly oversee federal law enforcement. The concern runs deeper than biography. The senator preparing to speak has documented a pattern across Trump's time in office: pressure on a Republican state official to produce votes, withheld military aid used as leverage against a foreign government, two separate impeachments. His point is that a president willing to use government power for personal gain poses a specific risk, and the only guard against that risk is an attorney general who will say no. Blanche, the senator argues, has already shown who he says yes to.
Epstein survivor. Don't just take my word for it, though. I entered into the record direct quotes from judges who had to deal with his misguided decisions.
This is the quote of the judge, the federal judge. Your role is not to advance political agendas. Your allegiance is to the impartial application of the law and to uphold due process for all. But this is just one example cited by over 1,200 current and former Department of Justice officials appointed under presidents of both parties who warned that you should not be in this position because of your inability to be independent from your personal allegiance to Donald Trump over the rule of law.
Blanche led the DOJ's disastrous and illegal handling of the Epstein files. I've been honored to sit with the victims and hear their stories, something Blanche refused to do until he faced political pressure. But the survivors themselves made clear they don't care about politics. They want justice.
At the end of the day, we are victims of a crime, right? We are over 1,000 girls and young women who were sexually exploited. There's been so much political emotion infused into this case when it really doesn't belong. So when you bring it down to a human level and say, I'm someone's sister, I'm someone's aunt, I'm someone's daughter. And if this was happening in your community, if there was
The hearing took a sharper turn when the senator moved from constitutional arguments to a specific factual record. Jeffrey Epstein's trafficking network exploited girls and young women for years. Ghislaine Maxwell, his closest associate, was convicted in 2021 and is now serving a federal sentence at a Bureau of Prisons facility. Who else was involved in that network, and whether federal prosecutors have pursued all available leads, remains an unanswered question that advocates for victims have raised for years. Todd Blanche, in his capacity as acting attorney general, made the decision to spend 2 days meeting with Maxwell in person. He said publicly he was seeking the truth. 1 week after that meeting, Maxwell was transferred from a low-security federal institution to a minimum-security prison camp. No explanation was offered for the timing of that transfer. The senator has now reviewed what those 2 days produced. He is about to ask Blanche a single yes or no question, and the answer will become part of the public record.
Pedophile ring in your community, would you be able to sit by and just watch it happen? Because that's what we're doing as the American public. We're sitting by and we're effectively condoning these kinds of crimes happening to vulnerable girls and young women. So really, for us, this is not political. We're just victims of a crime, and I would just ask people to take the political emotion out of this because it doesn't belong there, and to look at us for what we are. And if victims of crime can't count on the Department of Justice, what do we have as citizens? What do we have?
Instead of meeting with the victims, Todd Blanche chose to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. His comments about meeting with her were completely unsatisfactory, but you can judge for yourself.
Now, I was stunned earlier by your conversation with one of my colleagues that you wouldn't even commit to meeting with the survivors, but you did meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. Your claim that you can't meet with these victims because they're represented by counsel is utter nonsense. Counsel can be present, or a client can waive their right to have counsel, but you're a lawyer. You know this. That was not truthful, what you said to my colleague. You said that they should meet with the FBI. All of these women have reported their crimes decades ago, but yet you won't meet with them. What you will do is meet with Ghislaine Maxwell. Over a year ago, you sat with her, and you publicly said you were seeking the truth. So let's talk about what that 2-day meeting produced. Did your interview with Ms. Maxwell lead to a single additional person being charged, yes or no?
No.
Well, just 1 week after your meeting, Ms. Maxwell was transferred from a low-security federal institution to a minimum-security prison camp. Were you involved with that transfer?
When, as I've talked about before, in the time leading up to me going down to meet with her, we learned that she was receiving threats. It turned out when we
I'm
were
going to
there,
interrupt you for a matter of time because...
Okay, well, it's not a question I can answer, apparently, in the time you're giving me.
I'm going to tell you this because I deal with issues of criminal justice. When people are under threats in a Bureau of Prison facility, they're put into solitary confinement or protective. They're not moved to a camp.
That's not always true.
It is.
You're
well,
just
what
wrong.
is what is true?
The Senate Judiciary Committee still has to vote on Blanche's confirmation. What he told the panel and what the record shows he did not accomplish are now formally entered. Senators from both parties will weigh what an attorney general loyal to the president does when the president becomes the subject of investigation. This is the D.C. brief.